What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about the new Season 2 update for Warzone. I'm going to specifically focus on Warzone. Obviously, they have multiplayer and zombies and everything in the update, but I'm only going to talk about Warzone because that tends to be what I focus on. This update's coming February 14th, and hopefully it will fix a lot of the bugs that we're having with Warzone for console players and PC players, and just bring the game back into a state where it's can be really popular again, because it's kind of dying right now, honestly. People have been saying it's a dead game for a long time. It's not a dead game, but it's okay to say it's a dying game if people are leaving, and absolutely people are leaving. So hopefully this will bring people back and make the game, as good as it possibly could be, because I think we all see the potential Warzone has to be one of the best BRs ever. But as always, if you guys like the content, please consider dropping a like on the video to help us with the algorithm, or a comment. If you have anything to say about the video, any suggestions or for future content or anything like that, always appreciated. But let's jump into it, and we will talk about the Warzone Season 2 update. Alright, this is mostly going to be a reaction video, like a live reaction video from me for these patch notes, because I have not actually read through this yet. So I'm just going to be going through it, reading the things that they talk about, and kind of reacting to it. So, new features: Nebula 5, Redeploy Balloons, and more. Nebula 5 ammo and bombs create new offensive tactics, while portable decontamination stations offer temporary refuge. Alternatively, take to the skies with redeploy balloons and bomber planes. So I've seen some stuff on Twitter about these redeploy balloons potentially coming soon. And I think this is going to be, we'll see in a second, but I think this is going to be something that can take you up into the sky and let you parachute to somewhere else, kind of like Apex has those zip lines you can zip up and fly somewhere else. I think that's going to be really good for Caldera, because that's one of the big issues people have with Caldera, is that there's a lot of open space and they don't know how to get from point A to point B quickly and effectively, and I think redeploy balloons will really help with that. I'll have to read about this Nebula 5 ammo. I don't know what that is. Bomber planes, that sounds terrifying. I have no idea. We'll see. It's at least interesting, I guess, but I'm not sure adding even better planes was the play there, because I think people hated planes. Explore the chemical factory and underground chemical weapons research lab, and watch for armored transport. So it looks like we're getting a couple new POIs, which will be good. Hopefully these are put in the places that people had issue with, open space, bringing more POIs closer to some of the other ones, because right now everything just feels really spread out. So we'll see where they put this, but that could be really good to have a nice new point of interest on the map. Armored transport, again, nobody really likes OP vehicles, so hopefully this is balanced. We'll see what it's like, but the Vanguard vehicles were just terrible, so maybe this will be one that's actually just okay and not crazy good. We'll see. It looks like it might have guns. You can see some guns sticking out the side of the armored transport there. So I'm a little nervous for this. I'm nervous for that, and nervous for the bomber. Those could be really, really annoying. But maybe they pulled it off. We'll see. I will reserve judgment until I actually get to play. Caldera Clash at launch. Rebirth reinforced mid-season. Massive team fight returns. Rank up those weapons and fight for Caldera outside of traditional modes. Meanwhile, there are rumors of a resurgence at Rebirth Island, and we're not talking about the game mode. Ooh, I don't know what that means. Alright, so let's read about this Nebula 5 ammo. Nebula 5 ammo. Classified as a field upgrade in Warzone, Nebula 5 ammo is no stronger than regular bullets, but does have one major exception. When an operator is downed by them, they will emit a poisonous gas cloud. Anyone attempting to revive this operator or standing within a few feet of them will face similar complications to the circle collapse exposure: coughing, blurred vision, and a slight amount of damage over time, whether that be to a player's health or their gas mask duration. Okay, so basically, if you equip this field upgrade and you down somebody, it puts a little gas cloud around them, and that would penalize anyone who goes for the res. And it also would notify everyone around that person was going for a res, because they'd be coughing. So that's interesting. I mean, again, it's hard for me to really know how this is going to play out without using it. Sounds kind of annoying, but at the same time, it might be kind of nice if you're the one with it, because you'll be able to get an advantage when you down somebody that you wouldn't normally have. Let's see what Nebula 5 bomb is. One of the rarest items in Warzone. A locked briefcase full of deadly gas with explosive charge. Once activated and set down in front of an operator, it will detonate after a fixed countdown. It cannot be disarmed or destroyed. Initial explosion deals a high amount of damage in a small radius before the gas spreads outward, where it will hurt any operator without a gas mask. The gas lingers for 2 minutes. That's a long time. before ultimately dispersing or feeding into the oncoming circle collapse. So basically it creates a small circle for 2 minutes wherever you bomb it. So this will completely hold people off from pushing. Operators can potentially outrun this explosive aftermath just as they would the circle collapse, but in terms of an area denial tool, the Nebula 5 bomb is a powerful force if you can find it. So it's super rare, super strong area denial tool basically. So it's like a little gas cloud. So that's going to be, again, kind of a tool for campers, it seems like to me. Not necessarily campers, but people playing strategic at endgame, trying to hold people off, and holding a position. So we'll see how that plays out. It's not a big deal because I think most people have gas masks most of the time, but gas masks also are incredibly annoying, as we have seen throughout all of Verdansk and Caldera, where it can get you killed, even though they said they made it not as bad. Still die to it all the time. So with the new Nebula gas, we get these portable decontamination stations. It's a new field upgrade again, just like the Nebula Ammo is. It says it filtrates air for several seconds, protecting anyone inside from the circle collapses or nebula gas. So it's basically like a group gas mask, it seems like. That's kind of cool. I think that's really cool, actually. We'll see how that plays out, but that seems like it'd be pretty cool. A good strategic play to stay in the gas using one of these for a little while, or use it to protect yourself from other nebula gas. We'll see how that plays out, but that does sound pretty cool to me. All right, on to the armored transport trucks. I'm scared of these things. So it says these unstoppable steel behemoths remotely roll on a set looping path. Oh, they're AI. They're not something you drive. Attacking those within its immediate vicinity with its 2 machine gun turrets. So it does have guns. It's going to shoot you. Operators also need to avoid the mines it drops behind it, as well as the aerial support it calls in should it drop to low health. So basically, it's just an armored vehicle that's going to drive around the map on a set loop, and if you blow it up, you get incredibly valuable items, but it's going to try to protect itself with bombing runs and mines and guns and all kinds of stuff. So that's interesting. I'm very glad that that's not a player-driven thing. I didn't want an OP weapon or an OP vehicle, so that's interesting at least. Yeah, fun, interesting mechanic. We'll see how it plays out. All right, so next up is the new point of interest, the chemical factory. So it looks like this is that area just south of docks. There were already some buildings here and things, so unfortunately this isn't in one of the open areas. We already had a small point of interest here, but if we look at the actual map, this was right where I'm circling my cursor there, just south of docks. So it looks like they just reworked that whole area. It's going to be much more involved, much more, many more buildings and things like that. So we'll see. We will see what that actually looks like. I wish it was in one of the empty areas, but overall, still going to be nice to have a really new, big point of interest. Underground chemical weapons research labs. So I read through this already. It looks like there's basically 7 bunkers. So if you played on Verdansk, you know that we used to have bunkers. You could go in and get really good loot. It looks like we have 7 essentially new bunkers that are now renamed Underground Chemical Weapon Research Labs. And it says that you get phenomenal loadout items, which may include gas mask and Nebula 5 ammo. So it's just going to be basically a risk reward thing where you can find these bunkers, go in, get the loot, and leave and have an advantage. So we'll see. I liked the bunkers on Verdansk, so I think these will be a good addition to Caldera. So here we've got the thing that I'm most afraid of. We've got bomber planes. These are like heavily armored. They have a gun. They drop bombs. It says the second aerial vehicle in Vanguard modes in Warzone. The bomber is a formidable air-to-ground striker capable of leveling infantry and vehicles. Bombers can also destroy loadout drops. That's crazy. Which can fundamentally change how operators approach these powerful sources of weapons. While this new aircraft can shatter anti-air guns and destroy ground-level threats, it may meet its match when confronting a fighter plane, which continues to be available in Vanguard Royale. Alternatively, drop into a stationary or truck-mounted anti-air gun and bring down these airborne behemoths with vim and vigor. I've actually found, so people complain about the planes all the time. It's actually really fun to just hop in an anti-air gun, and they die so fast from anti-air guns that I don't mind planes that much, because anytime there's a plane around, I just find the nearest anti-air gun and shoot it, and it's actually pretty fun. Furthermore, players can expect to see health decreases to both planes as part of this update, making them easier to shoot down. So they're going to be even easier than they were before, and they were already pretty easy to shoot down out of anti-air guns. So that's a good change for sure. We'll see. I'm pretty scared of this. I hope this isn't massively overpowered, but yeah, we'll see. Redeploy balloons. So I'm getting the vibe that this is exactly what I thought it was. So shown on the attack map as a blimp icon, the redeploy balloon is a ticket back into the skies to reposition thousands of meters away from your set location. So that's perfect. Operators can ascend to the top of a balloon via zipline, tether to the balloon, and then leap off the top and deploy their parachute to cover great distances. So yeah, that's exactly what it is. This is going to be huge. I think people are really going to like this, especially aggressive players, and really just anyone. Having the opportunity to redeploy and get somewhere else quickly is going to be nice for everyone. It says they can be destroyed by weaponry or planes. I don't know how I feel about that. I feel like if they're there, they should just kind of be there as a set object. And once the balloon is deflated, operators can spend a few $100 to reinflate. Okay, so once it gets destroyed, you can repair it with just some money, which isn't going to be a big deal at all. The big issue there is going to be how long it takes to repair it. If it takes a long time for it to get back up in the sky, yeah, that probably won't be so great. But I think this is a great addition to Warzone. All right, so it looks like we've got a couple new modes, or I guess one new mode, Caldera Clash. We'll read about that in a second, and then Rebirth Iron Trial Duos. So that's cool. This is the first time we've ever had Iron Trials on Rebirth. It is in duos, but because it's Iron Trials, duos might not feel so painful. It'll be really interesting to try this out. That could be a ton of fun. But let's read about Caldera Clash. What is this? Caldera Clash, level up and conquer major areas in this team deathmatch twist. Developed by High Moon Studios, Caldera Clash pits 2 teams of 48 operators, divided into quads, into a deathmatch, with wild events and power-ups. I was going to say this sounds just like Clash on Verdansk. Caldera Clash allows operators to drop in with their custom loadout, which can have any weapon from Call of Duty Modern Warfare to Vanguard, and a field upgrade. Each kill earns their team a point, with the first team to reach a set number of points, or the team that has the most points when the time limit expires, claiming victory for their massive faction. This sounds literally just like Clash. Clash was a good mode just to, screw around in, warm up, level up guns, things like that. So it seems like it's a fine addition. Like, very few people I think are going to play that compared to the VR modes, but at least it's something that you can level guns up in and use to warm up and things like that. So yeah, overall, I think it's a pretty solid update to Warzone. We'll see how all these things play out in actuality. I'm a little worried about the bomber plane. I'm a little worried about the Nebula gas. But the redeploy balloons, the armored truck, I think those are both kind of cool additions, especially the balloon. I think the balloon's going to be awesome. I don't think the new game mode's going to be that big, but really the big thing we need to think about is how much bug fixing hopefully comes with this patch. If they don't massively overhaul a lot of the issues, people are going to keep leaving, even if they add content, because it's still virtually unplayable on console for a lot of people. I still get bugs every single time I play. And I know the servers have seemed a little bit like laggy and things recently. So hopefully they can address some of this and really fix some of the issues that people are having with Warzone, because for a lot of the community, it's painful to play right now, and they're leaving by the thousands to go play other games because of how painful the bugs have gotten in this game. So I really hope they address that. But yeah, that's all I wanted to cover in this. Just wanted to go over the patch notes with you. These aren't the actual patch notes, but the patch details. Obviously, I'll cover the patch notes and all the weapon changes when they come out. Quick update on True Game Data. I finished about 6 or 7 more weapons yesterday. So I'll be uploading those to the website directly after this video. I'm going to put a big header on the website that says which guns are finished fully with the damage modifying attachments, because obviously that's important information. Most of them, when you hover over the attachment, will tell you if it's on TGD or not. But I want to put it on the front page anyway. But yeah, if you guys appreciate the content I'm making, consider subscribing if you want to see more. I appreciate you all, and I'll see you in the next video.